How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading, whether price is going up or down. Ethereum rockets past 2,000 as Blackrock files for Ethereum ETF with NASDAQ. In a filing with the NASDAQ Stock Exchange on Thursday, Blackrock outlined its proposal for an iShares Ethereum trust that would allow investors to gain exposure to Ethereum's price movements through a traditional stock exchange. The filing comes as BlackRock also registered a trust for Ethereum in Delaware, a move that analysts saw as a precursor for this application. While they do have this application, the filing states that the fund shares would trade under the ticker ETH, but it doesn't really have a formal application date to when they will give their application to the SEC for approval of the ETF. So they still need to hand this off to the SEC for it to possibly get approved, and we'll have to see it go through a process just like the Bitcoin ETFs. Want free rare Pokemon cards? Courtyard is giving away free NFTs. Collectible card vaulting platform Courtyard is giving away hundreds of mystery card packs that contain tokenized Pokemon cards, the marketplace exclusively shared with Decrypt's GG. Each digital pack will contain an NFT tied to one graded Pokemon card, which can then be traded if they please. You can also redeem the card for their physical version if you want. November 21st, you will be able to see what card you actually got in your virtual pack and what you caught. The Pokemon cards available include vintage-based card sets, modern cards, and promo cards with a 2020 Sword and Shield Shiny Star Charizard and a 1998 Starter Red-Green gift set Hollow Scyther hidden among the packs. All cards have been graded, which means their condition is fully judged by a third party and is in a sealed case, much like depicted here. These are the two cards. This one's worth like about 150, this one's about 300 from what I saw. You can now lend your NFTs to gamers and earn passive income. Crypto startup Loot Rush has shared exclusively with Decrypt's GG that it is launching an NFT rental marketplace tomorrow, allowing gamers to list their game NFTs for rent or to borrow someone else's anywhere from a day to a year. Loot Rush supports several blockchains, allowing players to test NFTs for games on networks like Ethereum, Ronin, Avalanche, Arbitrum, Coinbase, Polygon, Immutable, BNB, and WeMix. So there's a few options available. This seems like a pretty good step and a pretty interesting step and something that we haven't quite seen before. Over on the Dixie for the daily, we are trying to break our triangle. We are pushing forward. So we are trying to come back in, get a retest. We have a green candle in. If we get another green candle, that would be a confirmation of us to continue forward in this pattern. We do have a confirmation of the uptrend with this green candle. We got a little bit of a sell-off. It didn't manage to hold much. The sellers were supposed to be exhausted with the long upper shadow candle, but just like patterns, candlestick patterns, where you see this triangle, the candlestick breakouts aren't always 100%. Nothing's 100%. There is no crystal ball to trading. It's just getting a strategy, using that strategy, and only using that strategy, not listening to 100 people's strategies and getting confused. RSI's overall trending out, stochastic's pushing down, that money flow's heading toward that neutral, momentum's in the bearish territory, but it does want to head back up as our VWAP is trying to break into the bullish territory. Over on our total, we have a little bit of an indecision candle, so we didn't get quite the hype up like we did with the Dixie, but we did try to push almost to a new Fibonacci level. We did try to push to a lower Fibonacci level, so we're kind of swinging in between both. Momentum is trying to push down as our VWAP is trying to break bearish. Stochastic's starting to head down. RSI wants to come down. We have a double red dot on that momentum. So if that VWAP doesn't gain some strength, it's very likely that VWAP will continue down, which could result in price action pushing to the downside. Over on Bitcoin dominance, we got Pretty odd looking flag here, but this is a bit of a rounding top that did confirm. This is a long upper shadow candle with that rounding top. If we close this red candle, that could give us that shoulder we've been talking about, which could help kick Bitcoin dominance down to that 50% area that we have warned about, possibly right around where we have this flat trend at that 51, higher 50%. Our RSI is trying to push down. Our money flow is starting to come out. Our VWAP's rejecting that neutral. Stochastic wants to roll over and break to the bearish side. It is underneath that 30, so our RSI is likely to continue to slide. If this VWAP continues down, while this momentum continues down, that money flow is going to continue out, and we will see momentum continue to the downside and possibly become in a bearish trend. Over on Bitcoin futures, we tried to get a freak breakout just like Bitcoin, but we got rejected around that 38K level. We are trying to break that 37K, so we're just trying to break about 1,000 a day. We are pushing pretty drastically, so there is a possibility we could see some downside, as when you get your drastic moves up, you tend to get your drastic moves down. We do still have that gap down here on the daily at that 31.86, so keep that in mind as well. We could roll over as we jumped past our gapped area, tried to fill, let's see if we can see the wicks. We have no candle wicks here, so you see that gap right there. We are trying to kind of jump around to this gapped area, or this previous trend area, sorry. If we reject from this previous trend area, it's very likely this will start a rejection that could break us even lower. Remember, we do have this 20K. That is that gap from a little bit newer than that 50K gap. If we zoom out, the 20K gap's down here, and our 50K gap is from the bull run. So it is possible, with all the hype on the ETFs, we could try to make a pump to that higher gap. Maybe then we get some late news that the ETFs are getting rejected in December, and then we see a big major pullback. Could happen. We do have this value area high for that volume profile for the bigger area that we have been trending from since the bull run. So this is our bull run value area high with this trend in mind as well. So it's pretty much the bull and the bear run. If we do get a rejection from this value area high and continue up toward it, we could continue up, hit that 41.65, and then see a rejection. So that would be a critical level. If we can't break that level, it's very likely we will see a pullback there. Our other area of resistance is the 38.890. We have a lot of buy and sell pressure here, so there is a lot of back and forth between the bulls and bears, so it will be hard to break through. That is right around that 39K where we did try to push with that wick there. Over on Bitcoin, it is very similar to futures. That's why we spent so much time on the futures today. Our RSI is trying to head up. Our momentum's overall pushing down, making bearish divergence. Stochastic's overall rounding out, making bearish divergence. We did try to wick out of our pattern, but we ultimately got pulled back in, and we are starting to reject just right off the top there. So it is possible this could be our last top, and we could see a flush out, kind of like we have been mentioning. Our RSI does look like it wants to pull back, so I would just watch the lower time frames. If they start to show some signs of weakness and hold in the bearish territory, remember that's what you want to look for, then we will see a pull back from that. If you haven't already, smash that like, hit the subscribe, and join us in this Discord. That's how you can get one of these free statues for the members in our Discord. We will be shipping these out on Saturday this week. I plan on taking a picture before I ship them out. So, cripples, if you have not seen the messages and you want yours still, let us know what color and we'll get that running off for you. Our stochastic is overall pushing out. Momentum is rounding away. The VWAP's in the bearish territory, and our money flow is trying to push in the bullish territory. So this is a positive sign. Sorry, my nose itches. If this money flow maintains bullish strength on the 4-hour and lower time frames, then we have the potential to continue up and break out of this channel that we're in. But just keep in mind that 40K is a pretty decent area of resistance if we do break this channel. We did mention, like, probably a couple weeks ago, it was possible to hit this cross section if we do not hit this area. It looks like we are trying to come up to hit this cross section, so just watch out if we reject from that. That would be 2 resistance areas that would push us down, and we could see, I can't get it to zoom out any further. Go back to the 4-hour real quick. Could have that kind of pattern where we have those 3 tops, 1, 2, and 3. So if we get rejected here, just keep that in mind. This could be a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder forming. That could help push us down as well. So that could kick us off for some downside if we do not maintain this bullish momentum on our money flow here on the 2-hour and the 1-hour. Our momentum is pushing out. RSI is pushing away. The stochastic is pushing away. The VWAP wants to break to the bullish side, but it's starting to curl. So I would watch that very closely. If the VWAP gets a rejection here, it's very likely we will see further downside, get hit to this bottom, possibly break that, and touch the support of our bigger ascending channel that we are within. Over on the 1-hour, our RSI is starting to round off. Our money flow is maintaining bullish momentum. It bounced off that bearish territory, so that is what helped kick us off. So if you watch that like we told you to, then you could have gotten a pretty decent swing. If you were in the Discord, right about halfway through this candle break, we said, hey, this isn't looking too good. We may see a pullback. So hopefully if you took that notification and you took this notification, you were able to get some sort of a win. But we've had several possible wins over the last few weeks. That's another reason you want to join that Discord besides getting a free statue. Our RSI is heading down. Money flow wants to come back down. That VWAP wants to break to the bearish territory. Stochastic wants to round away. So we're looking a little iffy. We do have the potential for that to be the head and shoulders, with these indicators looking a little on the weak side. So keep that in mind. Over on our graph, we are kind of flat here after pushing down. We did get a long lower shadow candle though, so that is important because that shows that the sellers tried to push us down, but the buyers stepped up and managed to keep price pretty flat. If they can keep price in this area and keep it above the green EMA, we do have a potential for price action to try to trend up, but just be careful how it makes an uptrend. If it makes a rising wedge or a rising channel, those are bearish trends that will break you down eventually, more likely than not. However, if it makes like a rising triangle, then that could kick us off for some positive upside. Our momentum is rolling away. We have a double red dot. RSI is pulling back. Stochastic's pulling back. Our money flow is trending in the bullish territory, but our VWAP is starting to fall into that bearish territory. If that VWAP gets a lower high, starts to pull back, continues to kind of pull in this bearish territory and hold, it's very likely we could make a bear flag, which would bring us down as well. Over on the 4-hour, we have a double manipulation X that wants to bring us down, but we have a bullish engulfing candle trying to invalidate it. We have a red candle here, so if we get strong red candles that take over, it's very likely price action can pull to the downside. Our RSI is starting to trend down. Stochastic wants to round away. Our money flow is overall pushing out. Our VWAP is in the bullish territory, and our momentum is starting to head down, so I would keep a close eye on things. Momentum does have a green dot as our VWAP is making higher highs and starting to slightly favor the bullish territory. If that trend continues, we could see a push to the upside. Around the 2-hour here, we do have this rounding bottom that is trying to push us up. We are seeing a bit of a resistance after getting that push up, so we retrace some losses. We have a wick we could fill, so there is a possibility we can start to roll over here, see a rejection of this area, and make a break to fill this wick. This could be that flagged area, so our trend would be right around, I'll try out for you so it's easier to see. There's our crooked high right there, if I can get to pull down where I want. And then we have our bottom. Let's see, I'll look right there a little bit more. So this would be a little bit of a freak breakdown, a little bit of an attempt to break down, very tight pattern. It doesn't really have very much potential to bring us down. Well, can bring us past these EMAs like I have been warning about, but other than that, not too much further. Our stochastic is heading up. Our money flow is coming out. That VWAP is in the bullish territory, but starting to round away where it has rejected before. So that is another sign we could see a push to the downside. We have been in this trend for a little bit, so we could see a push to the downside soon if we are not able to maintain our bullish momentum. Our momentum wants to head up and flip to the bullish side, but it's starting to round away as our VWAP is starting to get exhausted, so I would pay close attention. This bullish divergence could get invalidated if I could speak there. Over on the 1 hour, we have that double manipulation X. You see that brought us down. So there's an example of how they do play out. Stochastic is getting lower highs, overall rounding away. We could make bearish divergence here and start to pull back. That VWAP is in the bullish territory, meeting resistance where it's met resistance several times before and broken down. Our VWAP wants to head down. It's currently rounding. Momentum was trying to break through that neutral, but if our VWAP flips to the bearish side and gets consistent lows and then a lower high, we could see a bearish trend form take over and see this pattern play out. Our money flow is in the bullish territory, but it's starting to round over, so I would just pay close attention as we did get a bullish push, but it's starting to look a little weak already, so it may not be strong enough to carry over to our higher time frames, but I would just watch. Again, our higher time frame, the 2 hour is green, 4 hour is green and pushing up, so I would just watch for the 1 hour to maintain. If the 1 hour starts to flip bearish, then it could start to drag us down, but as long as it stays in the bullish territory, that has the potential to help push us up. I hope you guys understand the importance of the money flow. I've been trying to stress that for the last few days, and how the momentum, VWAP, and money flow all correlate. Over on Anchor, we are trying to stay above the value area low, but we're kind of struggling here. Our RSI wants to head down. Momentum did have a double red dot, but we are getting a green dot as our VWAP's a little indecisive and doesn't know what it wants to do. The money flow is trying to push forward with continued new highs, so that is positive for us, but if that VWAP starts to flip to the bearish side, then money flow could make a snap pretty quickly, as it did ramp up with very little push. Over on the 4 hour, our stochastic is trying to push down. It does want to kind of curl here, so it could see some potential for a push to the upside. Our RSI is getting lower highs, though, as our stochastic's overall pushing down, so just watch out for the stochastic to continue down. If that happens and it breaks the 30, we could see the RSI do the same. Our money flow is pretty flat here, but it is maintaining the bullish momentum, so that is positive for us, but I would just watch as it seems to be getting a little exhausted. Now, VWAP does want to break through that neutral, but it's starting to round just under it. So if it makes a lower high here, we could start a bearish trend that would start to pull us out, make this up channel play out, and then we could possibly see lower price action from there. So pretty close to where I put that descending line. Over on the 2 hour, our RSI is starting to head down with lower highs and starting to curl away as our stochastic is in bearish territory. The money flow is overall pushing down. The VWAP does want to break to the bullish side, trying to bring our momentum back to the bullish side with a green dot, but we are kind of meeting some resistance near the top of this pattern, so I would just exercise some caution here. The money flow is overall pushing out, so I would watch the 1 hour. If the 1 hour starts to show bearish signs, then it's very likely that we could start to pull back. However, just like we said across other coins, if the 1 hour maintains bullish momentum, we will continue bullish momentum most likely. Stochastic is trying to push forward. RSI is starting to round away, as our stochastic could make a bit of a bearish divergence here, as we had, let's see right here, stochastic was pretty high, and price was about in the same spot, and we're making lower stochastic still. Momentum is in the bearish territory, trying to round away. That VWAP does want to get a bit of a round here, meeting some resistance, and our money flow is at risk of starting to round away as well. But I would just watch. We are seeing that green EMA trying to break 2 higher EMAs. If we can get strong green candles and break through this resistance, we could see that green EMA snap us back up. So there is still that possibility for some potential upside, as we do have that potential with Bitcoin. Over on XRP, we are kind of rounding, so this may be like some really big, goofy cup and handle. We didn't quite see a cup and handle with XRP like we did our other coins, so maybe this is like a late breakout. That would put us above that golden pocket area, kind of like I've been saying we could try to push to. So if we get a bit of a bullish curl, hit this value area high and break through it, we could get a cup and handle push up. Our momentum is starting to roll away, stochastic starting to fall, RSI is starting to fall, and momentum has that double red dot as our VWAP is in the bearish territory, and our money flow is starting to go kind of flat as we are under that green EMA, so I would just watch out for a pull to the downside. Over on the 4 hour, we have manipulation X that did bring us down a bit. We are trying to pump back up, but the bears are trying to regain some control here. So if we see some strong red candles, this EMA cross could bring us lower. RSI is starting to head down, momentum's in the bearish territory as our VWAP is in the bearish territory making lower lows. If our VWAP makes lower highs here, we could start a bearish trend that would pull us back down. Money flow is starting to trend away as everything else is starting to pull back, so I would just watch that. Over on the 2 hour, we are starting to pull, trying to trend back up. So we did get a bit of a pullback. We are bouncing off the red EMA. We're going to need strong green candles to continue here to help trend up. If we break this red EMA, then our handle could be shot and we may not see a bullish pump to the upside. RSI is overall trending out. So stochastic wants to push forward. Money flow wants to come out. That VWAP's a little iffy though. The VWAP is rounding under the neutral. If it flips to the bearish side, we would confirm a lower high, which could confirm a bearish trend. Our momentum is in the bearish territory, struggling to round as our VWAP is struggling to cross. So I would just pay close attention to that. Over on the 1 hour, we do have a potential for a bearish engulfing candle here. Our RSI is trying to head out, stochastic is trying to round away. Our money flow does want to break to the bearish side after trying to break bullish. Our VWAP is struggling, so if our money flow breaks here and that VWAP breaks here, we could see bearish action start to take over and invalidate that possibility of the upside. Momentum does want to push up, but with that VWAP starting to round, the momentum would be in jeopardy of doing the same. Over on algo for the daily, we are somewhat heading down kind of flat. We could be making a descending triangle here that could try to push us down overall. Stochastic is pushing out, RSI is pushing down, that VWAP is in the bearish territory as our money flow is trying to sustain some bullish momentum. So we're kind of at odds here. Our momentum is rounding as our VWAP is in the bearish territory, so if our VWAP gets a lower high here, we could start a bearish trend, and then our money flow would likely start to round from that. Over on our 4 hour, we do have a manipulation X that wants to pull us under these EMAs and bring that green EMA back under our blue EMA here. We have bearish divergence on momentum. Our stochastic has bearish divergence. Money flow is pushing out, and our VWAP is getting lower lows. If it makes lower highs here, we could start a bearish trend, but we are starting to favor the bearish territory here as our highs are getting weaker than our lows. Over on the 2 hour, we are trying to trend forward, so we do look kind of iffy here. Unlike the 4 hour, that looks a little more like we could pull back still. RSI is overall pulling out, stochastic is trying to trend out as price is trying to trend up. Money flow is overall coming down. VWAP is favoring the bearish territory, but trying to break to the bullish side, so if we can make a strong bullish break, we could see a push to the upside. Momentum is getting a green dot and pushing forward, so we will have to see if this VWAP can break the 7.7. If it rejects the 7.7, it's very likely we will see continued price action to the downside. Over on the 1 hour, we do have that round possibility, so that is trying to make the handle. We could see some sort of like a goofy big cup and handle here as well. Let's see, kind of sloppy to see on those time frames. This could be like a top right here. We are kind of mean resistance, so this could be one big dip, one big push, and then we could see a handle. If we do have a descending triangle here, that handle would have pushed down a little bit, maybe to our value area high. Then we would have to see a bounce and a continued upside, and then potential for a snap up, kind of like XRP. But that would be like maximum hopium. We would need to see the rest of the market really pump for that to happen. RSI is starting to round away. Stochastic looks like it wants to round. Our money flow is kind of at odds. It is maintaining bullish momentum, but it keeps peeking into the bearish territory, so just watch for it to favor the bearish side. The VWAP is in the bullish territory, meeting resistance, so we could see a bit of a pullback. Just watch out for that. If we see a pullback and break bearish, we could see lower price action and see a lower high, followed by possible lower lows and a downtrend to form on our price action as well. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a wonderful night.